So guys, welcome back. And today we'll speak about the lats and how to train them properly, right? So the lats are if you didn't already know, the lats are your big back muscles that most people call wings. And those are the muscles that create this V shape in your back and will really shape and make your physique look amazing. And most guys train their lats wrongly, right? And today I'll teach you how it's done properly and how it's done the most efficiently so you can see the most lat growth in the shortest period of time, okay? So let's get into it, right? So firstly, one crucial mistake that most people make is thinking that vertical pulls build width in your back and horizontal pulls build thickness. So this is simply outdated and wrong. Horizontal pulls can also build width, and vertical pulls can also build thickness depending on how you do them, obviously. Because when you do a pull-up, your upper back muscles also slightly work with you. So this advice is just something that is very outdated and simply wrong, but it's biomechanically wrong and it's practically wrong. So you can technically you could build your lats with just horizontal pulling, right? If you have very little time. I don't believe you should do it, but you could. So ditch this knowledge that vertical pulls build width and horizontal pulls build thickness, and now I'll show you how you train your lats properly and what the lats actually do. So like I said, we're going to start what the lats actually do. So the lats have two biomechanical functions: shoulder abduction and shoulder extension. Shoulder abduction is basically bringing your arm from the side to your body, right? It's bringing your arm from here to here. This is shoulder abduction, bringing it down to the side of your body. Shoulder extension is basically bringing your elbow or your arm behind your back, down and behind your back. So, quick interruption guys, if you didn't already know, I actually have an online program. It's called Skinny to Jacked Academy. It's my online community where I teach skinny men how to build muscle efficiently without much equipment and time. And in my program we stick to the basics and I actually focus on what works and what has worked for me, as you can see. And by joining you'll have access to lots of things like one weekly one-on-one coaching call with me where we will discuss your progress, your routines, etc. Also, you can ask me any kind of questions, I'll help you out, no problem. You're gonna get a personalized workout routine and split based on your specific schedule. I'm gonna make this personally for you. Basically, you're gonna show me your schedule and I will craft a split and routine that works for you. It does not matter even if you have twice a week, 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. We can make something work. Also, you're gonna have a forum where you can ask any sort of question and you're gonna get it answered very quickly. I promise that. You also have PDFs with sample stuff like recipes for gaining muscle and example workouts for your level of equipment. Basically, if you train at home with no equipment, if you have a fully equipped gym, or if you have everything, right? So let's get back to the video. So, what this means in practice, right? Because just by knowing this, it's quite hard to train your lats just by knowing this thing, right? So to grow your lats properly, you should have a frontal plane pull and a sagittal plane pull. Basically, this would be the frontal plane pull with the shoulder abduction, and the extension would be the sagittal plane pull, right? If you have very little time, pick one of those, but for most guys, you're gonna have enough time to do two exercises for your back, right? So you basically need a wide grip vertical pull, which is for shoulder abduction, because this is the only reasonable way to actually train your shoulder abduction function without some kind of weird cable isolation where you train your lats in this sort of way where you do a single joint movements. We're trying to avoid that. We're trying to train a whole body properly, and we're trying to bias the lats in this. Basically the shoulder abduction component of the lats, and the only real way to do that is with a wide grip vertical pull, right? Then for the shoulder extension, you need a close grip vertical pull or a close grip horizontal pull, where your elbows stay close and tucked to your torso, right, to your body. If it's a vertical pull or a horizontal pull, doesn't really matter, to be honest. Like I said, let's go back here. It doesn't matter. You can use both, and both of them will build your lats. So yeah, ditch this knowledge that you learned. Basically, a wide grip vertical pull and a close grip pull pull of whatever kind you want to choose. Depends on you, right? So for wide grip pulls, you should use either the pronated grip. Pronated basically wrists face, yeah, in the opposite direction of where you look. Basically, wrist face away from you, right? And you're gonna, no, wrist face towards you, sorry, and your palm face away from you. So you're not gonna see your palm. This is a pronated grip, right? Then you have neutral grip. You can also use the neutral grip for the wide grip vertical pose. Neutral grip is basically where your palms face towards each other, and you sort of had this sort of hammer grip, what people like to call hammer grip, basically the same grip as when you do a hammer curl for your brachialis and biceps. So for close grip pose, you can either use the neutral grip again, or you can use the supinated grip. Supinated basically means palms face towards you and wrists face away from you, right? So this will basically be the same grip as if you would do a bicep curl. So a quick tip, if you train calisthenics, please get yourself rings, because rings amplify all these biomechanical factors. Because they have freedom of movement, they let you choose the perfect angle at which your wrist is comfortable, they suit your anatomy, and they make the exercise harder, and you're gonna get more out of less weight. Also, don't use the supinated grip for the wide grip vertical pose, because it can be quite uncomfortable on your wrists, and you're gonna cause shoulder injury or a wrist injury. It's not worth it. For close grip pose, technically you could use the pronated grip. However, in practice, your elbows are gonna stay closer to your body if you use either the neutral or the supinated one, right? So, let's get into the best exercise for this, right? I'm not gatekeeping, I'm gonna give you the best exercise right now, okay, for free. So, for the wide grip vertical pull, in my opinion, the best exercise would be a wide grip pull-up. However, do not do this on a straight bar. Do this on this kind of bar, right? So either do the wide neutral one. If you don't have this kind of bar, do the wide neutral one or use rings. However, if you have this kind of bar, you can also use this one. So the important thing is that your bar goes down at the end. And I'll explain why for a second, right? So hold your arms up in the air, right? And shoulder width. Your wrists are going to be quite, yeah, they're going to be straight. Now, I want you to widen your arms. Do you see that your wrists, basically, your wrists turn? Your wrists go from this to this, because your arm widened, your upper arm widened, and your upper arm sort of stopped being horizontal and stopped being completely vertical and went slightly more horizontal in a V shape. And because of that, your wrists obviously turn, right? So if you will do the wide grip pull-up on a completely straight bar, right? You would run into the risks of getting any kind of wrist or shoulder injury simply because your shoulder has to excessively internally rotate, and that can be quite unhealthy under high loads. So, I would recommend you to, if you have this kind of bar, use it. If you don't, use rings or a neutral grip. But please do not use a straight bar for wide grip pulling. It's simply not comfortable for you, okay? Obviously, neutral with shoulder grip pull-ups, basically you would grip here then. Neutral with shoulder grip pull-ups, pure sagittal plane movement, you're moving your arm up and down, extending the shoulder. Chin-ups, if you don't know, are basically pull-ups with a reverse grip, where you grip like this. We have reverse grip barbell row. Now, for the barbell row, you could also use a closer pronated grip. However, I personally believe that the reverse grip or supinated grip is better for targeting your lats, simply because you're gonna have your elbows closer. You're naturally gonna have your elbows more tucked towards your body if you use a supinated or neutral grip. So these ones would be for shoulder extension, and this one would be basically the only one for shoulder abduction, right? Now, if you're a guy that likes lat pull downs, do lat pull downs. I'm personally not that big of a fan of lat pull downs. I'm like a pull up guy more. I like pull ups more. But if you want to use the lat pull down, then go and do it. Then you can do a wide grip pull down for instead of this, and a close grip pull down instead of these ones, right? Also, you can use a close grip cable row if you feel like it, but I'm not really like a machine guy. I don't like machines, so it's up to you. But basically, choose one wide grip vertical pull and one horizontal or vertical pull where your arms are tucked, right? So this is an example workout for the lats, and you're probably quite surprised. You probably think that you need way more exercise or whatever, but this is actually all you need, right? So you need 2 sets of wide grip pull-ups, 2 sets of reverse barbell rows. This is obviously an example. You can change these exercises with these ones, but this is actually all you need to grow your lats. Obviously, instead of 2 sets, you can do 3 sets. But this is all you need to grow your lats, right? Right? One shoulder abduction exercise and 1 shoulder extension exercise. If you're like super low on time, yeah, you could do 1. However, I would recommend trying to add both of them because it will really challenge your body from every different angle, right? So this is all you need, right? If you want to copy that, fine. Also, if you want to copy these best exercises, go and screenshot it right now. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the conclusion, right? So overall, you need 1 wide grip vertical pull that is not on a straight bar, like we talked about because of the injury. And you need 1 pull where your elbows are close to your body. This can be a vertical or a horizontal pull, doesn't really matter. So 1 wide grip vertical and 1 close grip. What kind of close grip, if it's like vertical or horizontal, doesn't matter, right? Please don't overcomplicate it with isolation, okay? I know that you see all of these like crazy exercises with the stretch and cables on YouTube and whatever, but trust me, you don't really need those, right? You really only need these 2 movements, 1 shoulder abduction and 1 shoulder extension. Pick 1 exercise for each of those and you're good to go, right? Your lats will grow, I promise you that. If you pick 2 exercises of each of these categories, right? So 1 for each category, 2 overall, that are fun to you, where you stay consistent and where you consistently progress with reps and weight, trust me, your lats will grow. Obviously hit your lats or your back twice a week, but your lats, if you do this, your lats are gonna grow. You really don't need more than that. Please don't overcomplicate it. Focus on the basics. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that would be it for today's video. Today's video wasn't that long, simply because training lats isn't that complicated. So please subscribe, leave a like, comment, and tell me what you would like to see next. Bye.